Hello and welcome to the Environmental Podcast Society. Today I'm joined by Chuck and Dequan, and today we're going to be talking about ocean pollution. Over to you, Chuck.
Thank you. Marine pollution is a combination of chemicals and trash which contaminate our oceans. Most of this trash and chemical waste come from land resources which are washed or blown into the ocean. This pollution can result in damage to marine life, populations, and the natural ecosystem.
Plastic debris is currently the most abundant type of litter in the ocean, with an average of 14 million tons of this plastic ending up in our oceans every year.
Plastic can be found on the shorelines of every continent, with more plastic waste being found near popular tourist destinations and densely populated areas.
To better understand the severity of marine pollution, the following leading causes make up the major pollutants commonly found in our oceans. Plastic is currently the largest marine pollutant, with plastic waste making up an estimated 80% of all pollution in our oceans. Plastic threatens ocean health, marine health, human health, food security, tourism, and contributes to climate change. The main sources of plastic debris found in the ocean are land-based, coming from sources including urban and stormwater runoff, sewer overflows, littering, inadequate waste management, construction, and illegal dumping.
Chemical pollution is another heavy pollutant that involves the introduction of harmful chemical contaminants into the environment. Common man-made pollutants that reach our oceans include pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, detergents, oil, industrial chemicals, and sewage. Many ocean pollutants are released into the environment far upstream from coastlines. Fertilizers and pesticides applied to farmland, for example, often end up in local streams after being washed away by rainfall. Nutrient pollution is a result of the runoff pollution of fertilizers and other nutrients. This causes an increase in hypoxia, which is the depletion or lowered levels of oxygen in a body of water. Hypoxia occurs when algae or other aerobic decomposers break down too much oxygen. This occurs because of the algae overgrow, using up mass amounts of oxygen.
The most damaging oil spills that occur derive from anthropogenic causes, which are leaks and spills from oil refining, handling and transport, storage, and the use of crude oil and any of its distilled products. Up to half of all oil spills, however, occur naturally where oil seeps from the bottom of oceans due to eroding of sedimentary rocks. There are also other natural factors such as climatic conditions and disturbances which can influence the occurrence of oil spills.
Radioactive waste, although not as common, is another harmful pollutant. Although radioactive waste dumping is still harmful to our oceans, its effects are not nearly as severe as equivalent nuclear spills on land or other chemical or physical marine pollutants, such as oil and plastics. The soluble components of radioactive waste are dispersed into the ocean at large over relatively short time periods. The insoluble wastes will fall to the seabed and, much like the case for oil spills, locally affect marine life in that location. The factor that causes all these pollutants to bunch up and collect in large quantities is called non-point source pollution. This is a result of the ocean and wind currents that force plastics in the ocean to gather together, forming massive clouds of pollution that move around in the ocean. An extreme case of this is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is the size of an island and floats around the Pacific with wind currents.
Some of the negative impacts of ocean pollution include depletion of oxygen, harm to marine species, and threats to human health. Depletion of oxygen is one of the impacts caused by runoff pollution. Depletion of oxygen causes hypoxic zones, which are areas of the ocean which have little to no oxygen. These areas are not fit for life, which kills millions of marine organisms every year. Harm to marine species is one of the most obvious impacts. Millions of marine organisms are killed every year as a direct result of ocean pollution. This can also pose threats to human health. Ocean pollution causes harmful chemicals and other hazardous substances to enter fish and water supplies. This leads to humans through digestion and can cause harmful side effects.
So, now that we know the causes and the impacts of marine pollution, let's discuss what can be done to reduce it. Some of the things the governments or large businesses can do to cut down on ocean pollution are maintaining drainage and water waste disposal infrastructures to reduce water pollution, having better waste management, improving sewage treatment, and banning or enforcing restrictions on harmful chemicals, and possibly introducing new biodegradable plastics. So, this begs the question, what can we do as people to help fight ocean pollution? Well, here's what we can do. Cut down on single-use plastics, recycle, and spread the word so that everyone can know the harmful effects and how to reduce them.
Collectively, as a group, we wanted to make a difference in reducing marine pollution, hence we decided to do a beach cleanup at Semaphore. The reason for this action was because one of the largest causes of marine pollution is plastic waste and runoff pollution. We felt that a beach cleanup would be far more impactful than other methods of building awareness, such as making posters, as we believe people would simply ignore them. We agreed that beach cleanup would actively reduce pollution in the Semaphore area while promoting public awareness for marine pollution. During the beach cleanup, we found varying types of rubbish such as plastics, glass bottles, paper scraps, wooden cutlery, and rubbish from a nearby kiosk, just to name a few. At Semaphore, there was far more rubbish than we expected. Most of it, which was found on top of the sand dunes. Our actions, although small, prevented this rubbish from later entering the ocean, and small actions such as these are far more effective than simply promoting awareness.
Cleaning up the beach reflects the shared values of Christianity, Hinduism, and Buddhism, as it shows an appreciation and interconnectedness with nature. Christians view caring for the earth as a responsibility given by God, while Catholics stress the need to protect the ocean and marine life as God's creations. Hindus promote compassion and non-harm towards all living beings, including nature, and Buddhists emphasize the interconnectedness of all life and the importance of respecting and valuing the environment. By cleaning up the beach, these values are actively demonstrated, showing appreciation for the natural world, commitment to preserving it, respect for the ocean, compassion for marine life, and minimizing harm to all living beings.
So by now, you would know more about marine pollution and why it is such a major issue. We as a community have a responsibility to clean up the ocean as it is God's creation, but also to preserve nature and all of marine life. So, go out there and make a difference.